Hello and welcome to the Good Interview. I am your host, Colin Birch, and today I am fortunate enough to be interviewing Thobani Ndlovu, who is the head of the Royal Drakensburg Primary School and also the Program Coordinator. So we have quite an interesting episode for you today. So firstly, though, I want to find out, Thobani, how are you doing today? Looks like it's nice and sunny that side.
Thank you, Colin. Not really. It's a bit cloudy, but the sun's really struggling to peer through. But yeah, hopefully by midday, yeah, we'll have some sun.
Okay. It's just the lighting then. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So the Cavern is dedicated to community upliftment, right? And what inspired the initial focus on education to begin with as a central pillar?
Mm. So I think it was a lot of things coming together. Around the time the family experienced a great tragedy with the loss of little Fergus, who sadly passed away. And as a way to deal with the grief, they wanted to help other people's children. They also wanted to have a school for their little children because they wanted to spend a bit more time with them before shipping them off to boarding school. And that's how the school then started. Yeah. And also the fact that Megan and Loretta, who are the co-founders, have a background in education.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. Yeah. You never know what can precipitate in these types of events, but it's better to make, let's say, something positive out of our experiences, I would say. Yeah. So how's this shift happened, right? Sorry, how has it evolved, right, over the years that you've been busy with it?
So initially the school started at grade R and went all the way up to grade five. And I think at some points they included other grades as well, other high grades as well. But when the kids came to school, it was a bit too late for their development because they were learning in English, but the kids were coming from homes where they used their mother tongue, which is isiZulu. So having to then adapt to learning in English, maths, and other subjects, there was a need to start a bit earlier on. So then they then dropped the grades to grade double R and triple R, and only ended at the time at grade three. Now we've gone up to grade four, but only ended up at grade three at the time. I think the focus on early childhood development was what necessitated the growth. And now we go up to grade four because last year, actually, we reintroduced grade four because we realized that the kids were having to leave a bit too soon, and maybe having to travel an hour to get to the next school with the way they were then going to. But the issue was that there were still babies, so they'd
Yeah.
have to wake up extra early and get to school tired. So we now go up to grade four.
Okay, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, no, it is really important to start young with that type of thing. So, build that solid foundation. And speaking of, right, how has the curriculum developed as to meet the specific needs of the children of the community?
Mm. So we are fortunate enough to be a private school, meaning that we can tailor our curriculum and not have to use a prescribed curriculum. So we can tailor our curriculum to the children's needs. So for mathematics, we use number sense, which is a really good way of taking maths, which is such an abstract subject, and making it concrete for children. It has different books where the kids work through different concepts using these different books, meaning that children could be on a different book whilst being in the same classroom. So the children really then do move at their own pace with the teacher's guidance. We also then use for English, we use time to read, which helps to decode sounds and put them together in order to make words. So it is a great way for children who are maybe learning English as either first additional language, but or maybe who have a home language and then having to then learn English as a home language as well, to assist them in order to like how to decode word and how to then construct words as well. We then also have introduced sports as well as drama for the kids, just to cater to the child holistically. We also look at the child's social and emotional development by introducing yoga, which helps kids to self-regulate. So we want to not just look at children as you need to be academic, but understanding that as much as adults are different, it's because they were different children. So then how do we cater for their specific different needs? Yeah.
That is so cool. I love the fact that you guys do yoga with it. I'm not gonna lie, that's really cool. Oh man. Also, it
How
really.
we start our week.
Say again, sorry.
I was saying it's how we start our week. So we start with a whole school yoga session on Monday, just to recenter ourselves and saying we're coming back and this is how we're going to move forward in the week. And then the teachers then do it in their different lessons with their children. It's even worked as behavior management strategy on like, okay, when we become unruly, how do we come back to ourselves? How do we recenter ourselves?
Oh, that's so cool, man. Yeah, exactly that, right? And I can imagine how it actually, how can I say, it helps so much with clearing their minds as well, right? So that they can actually be focused on the learning and actually develops that capacity, which is, yeah, that's really awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah. So in terms of in terms of the Kanyisela project, sorry. What was the inspiration behind that? And yeah, how has its early experiences shaped the development and its course?
Mm. So I'm not sure if you know, Colin, but our school survives very much in sponsorship. And at some point, the school had a lot of sponsors, and the school was seeming quite elitist in terms in comparison to other schools in the area. They had a lot more equipment, they had teachers who were highly trained, and we had very small numbers in the classroom. So it became important that this goodness that we were sort of having in the school doesn't just end here, but it spreads into the local community. The idea is that we become agents to transform rural spaces through quality education, and that's not going to happen if we're just going to have a select few children attending a year. So it was very important that we then reach out to the community as well, and that's when we started working with the different creches at school, which has gone up to 18 now. And we are seeing more requests actually coming from schools that are even quite far. I suppose the reputation of Kainsela projects has gone that far and wide. And it's how we do the work is guided by the needs of the community. So we don't want to assume that this is what they need in terms of like teacher training, in terms of the toys, the renovations, but it's very much guided by what are the needs of the community and how can we then best meet that.
Yeah, that's incredible to hear. Is yeah, it's supposed to be tailored, right? So that you, as you said, right, you don't assume, you see what is necessary and you allow it to kind of grow and organically, right, to fill the gaps that need to be filled and to build where it needs to be built. So that's really cool. I like that. And in terms of the Baby Boost program that was started in 2017, right, that focuses also on early interaction and language development. How what was it? What's the story behind that? And how did you guys identify the need for caregivers in the community?
Mm, yeah. So once again, it was a need to reach children at their earliest. And you find that a lot of moms who have kids and maybe they don't go to work, they do work all the time because there's having to go fetch water and all those other daily chores, but they would do that with their kids and mostly having to carry the kids in the bags. But the kids were not then going to creche. So whatever services that were being rendered at these creches, they were not meeting the children who at their earliest stages. So the Baby Boost program really reaches out to those moms, those carers who come with their kids to the creche, and they learn about different ways on how to interact with your child in meaningful ways. So where we think that, oh, children would just naturally develop. But for optimal development and to also prepare the building blocks for when they eventually go to school, they need to have language skills, right? In order to form healthy attachment styles, that needs to start with how the mom responds to the baby, having sort of like face-to-face interactions where the child can read the mom's emotions and then mimic those emotions as well, or expressions as well. So it was reaching children at their earliest.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. And just okay, somewhat off topic here, but I love your enthusiasm, man. I can see the passion radiating off of you, and it's awesome. It is so cool to see how much you care about this. And on that note, like, what can you maybe share some stories about, like some moments that you like, some of your most fulfilling moments, let's say, in your time working there?
There's so many, like it's so hard to count because every day it's something new. Just I think about 2 weeks ago, I was driving around with a friend who was visiting me from Johannesburg, and we got stopped by these kids who said, "Do you have any books for us in the car?" And just knowing that there is a genuine desire and a hunger for children to grow their own literacy and understanding that books are so crucial and important, but also something that's like a favorite pastime for them as well. And that really was one of the special moments. But as I'm saying, like every day it's something new. It's seeing a child come into school, and then seeing the growth that they have, or even going out to the Kanyisela creches, interacting with the children there, and then seeing them enrolled in the school. And because we see so many children, you might have forgotten and say, remember when you came to my creche in Guguletu when I was 3 years old, and now they're 4 or 5, and now they're in our school. It's constantly being reminded of the joy that the work that we do brings to the people that matter the most to us, which is the children.
Oh man, that's so cool. Again, like I can imagine there must have been so many moments throughout the years that are close to your heart. So it's I know it was a difficult question to throw in there, but but yeah. Also, I just wanted to find out, right? How did you originally get involved with Cavern and with Royal Drakensburg?
Yeah, so I'm my parents are teachers, so obviously they didn't expect me to become a teacher. But,
Yeah.
I think after thinking that okay, my path was going to take me to like the industrial psychology path, I had to go to my parents and say, no, I'm no longer interested in maybe pursuing a master's in industrial psychology and going into corporate. I want to go teach grade R, and you can imagine their initial horror, but they were very happy to support when they saw that I was quite passionate about this. And I became a grade art teacher. And through that, whilst I was working in a school in Johannesburg, eventually became an assistant principal and an acting principal. And I really wanted to come home to KwaZulu-Natal and really wanted to work in rural communities because I'm from rural KZN. One day I saw a post on the ISASA website and I couldn't believe it. I still get goosebumps thinking about it, that this thing that I had imagined in my head actually existed out there. And I applied and I got the job. Yeah. And that's how I moved back to KwaZulu-Natal.
And that sounds like quite a journey, and I'm so glad that you're able to do something that you care so much about because you clearly do, and it's just the best way to go about it. At the end of the day, like if you are so passionate about it, right, you're going to be wanting to put in your best, right, all the time because it's what you it's like a natural thing for you, right? It's a part of you in that sense, yeah. So thank you for sharing that. I
Yeah,
appreciate
I think more than anything though, it's such a gift for me to be able to be in this space. I can't believe it that I get to experience the miracle of children every day, and the sort of like the people who fund and sponsor this work, and the teachers who are working on the ground as well. I think every day I'm just so thankful to be around people who want to make a positive impact. And yeah, it's I feel that I'm more blessed than anybody else.
That's a beautiful thing, and it's so important to have a good environment, right? Because that also just cultivates more joy and better outcomes in general. So yeah, no, definitely. But in terms of I mean, there are a variety of initiatives that you guys provide, right? But
Yeah.
also, what have been some more of the impact stories that you've seen?
Um, Sure. Quite a lot. There's been teachers who've come in. I know there's a lady that we currently work with at school who started out as a cook in the creche, and she's gone on to be such an important part of the work that we do. She's currently doing her final year in education. She's our grade triple R teacher. She is a mentor, so she goes out each week to mentor the some of the creches in the area. She is a facilitator for the Baby Blues program. So just watching how people grow and develop. So it's not just so in giving, you also receive so much. So being able to sort of witness those type of things that happen from the different offerings that we have. The teachers that we work with, like we don't just do one thing, but there's so much the teachers work at school, but they hold portfolios in the Kanyisela project and watching their own professional and personal developments as well. Yeah, it's inspiring.
All right. So would you say that's also like some of the most fulfilling aspects of the work that you do?
Definitely, definitely. And of course, the children and seeing them grow up. I know that before my time, there were children that went through the school system, our school system, and now they're even graduates, and some are doing amazing things, playing in concerts, and some have gone into the workforce as well. And hearing them come back and share their journeys of being children of Royal Drakensburg School, it is quite fulfilling, yeah.
Mm. That's super sweet, man. Very wholesome. I like it. I like it. So, in terms of your hopes for the future, right, of these programs, or do you have anything new planned, perhaps, or are you guys just focusing on building up these programs to be the best that they can be and provide what they need to provide?
Look, obviously they're dreams, right? And but I think our focus for now, because we just recently did our theory of change and sort of had to define specifically the things that we want to do and how we then want the work to grow from there. So we're trying to really formalize all the different offerings, trying to sort of create a blueprint of how this work. How it plays out, having Royal Drakensberg as a space of excellence that then has these effects in the community, in the schools, and what then sort of seeing how that transforms and shapes the community, understanding that our work is not just limited to children, because if we want to see children grow, we need to then engage in community development. How do we bring in the parents? How do we bring in people in the community, supporting schools as well to help all our children grow? And my dream personally would be how is this then replicated in other spaces in rural South Africa so that we change the face of education in rural South Africa as a whole? And yes, these are very wide dreams, but it's so important that we start by making sure that we get it right in the space that we have. And maybe then it inspires other people to do similar projects in their areas as well. And then could always then look at how did we do it? What was our blueprint? And how did we achieve what we achieved in transforming our rural community?
That is incredible. I mean, yeah, big dreams, but you got to have a dream, man. You got to be able to have the vision before you're able to go towards it, right? So I like it. No, it's a beautiful thing, and I wish you guys all the best with that. I feel like where you
Thank
are
you.
exactly where you need to be, firstly, but I think that I think that yeah, what you guys are doing also is just it's just so stellar, and I think that yeah, I hope that you guys will just continue from strength to strength in that regard, continue to provide for all those who need it. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you for your service,
Thank
in
you.
fact. Yeah.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you.
So I have a final question for you, Thobani, and that
Mhm.
is, if you had one message for all of the supporters of the underserved and underprivileged, what would it be?
Mm. I think my message would be to go to where the work is being done. I think there's no greater reward to seeing where all your hard efforts are going, because I do understand that, like, just like post COVID, like everyone has been having a very hard time. So for people to still continue to support the efforts of people who are less fortunate than themselves is quite admirable. But I think nothing is more rewarding than actually going to see the work and the impact that your work is having, and seeing how great it is. Because maybe somebody thinks that just like sending a few books, or like making a cash donation or whatever it is. We even have grannies who knit some jerseys that we give out to the children at the creches, and coming to the space and seeing all these spaces and seeing that um, your hats are keeping children warm. The money that you give is feeding children with the porridge that we deliver every morning. The books that you give are helping children learn to read and enjoy reading, and are able to construct meaning from reading and dream beyond their circumstances. I think that is something that could then spur them to also then bring other people on board, to do more, so that they could also then come and see how they are helping change people's lives.
Right on, man. Right on. It's like you never know what even the smallest act can do to a person or for a person, and really it can change their lives more than you might
Yeah.
even realize. So yes, I like that. I like that a lot. Just do it. Just keep going. Just keep... yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, Thobani. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I appreciate it immensely. And as I mentioned before, I really do hope that you guys continue to go from strength to strength, continue to flourish and blossom, and yeah, continue doing the incredible work that you are doing. It is very much vital. It's very much necessary. And yeah, keep enjoying yourself. I see you all thoroughly, and I love it.
So, yes, thank you so much, Colin. Thank you for the space to also allow us to share what our passions are. And also just like shout outs to the Cavern that allows the work to continue and to live, I guess, beyond what anybody else could have imagined. So thank you. Thank you.
All right, all right, I love it. All right, and for the viewers at home, thank you. We could not do this without you. We appreciate you, and yeah, please do go check out the Cavern once more. And while you're there, why not stop by local communities and see the work that the Royal Drakensberg is doing, and in their various initiatives, maybe help out. Who knows? Who knows? But that's all for today. Thank you once more, and yeah, carry on carrying on. Peace.